Oh my God, here we go again. Men talking about stuff that's gonna help them be free. This is an Infinium Podcast, which is entitled Ignore the Reachback. Oh my God, what is that supposed to mean? Oh my God, I just wish I could get these men to just shut up.
My brothers, welcome to the 6th edition of the Infinium Podcast. And as always, my brothers, thank you so much for listening to my content, viewing my content, and considering it of some worth in your journey, our journey along the MGTOW pathway, the pathway that saves our lives in every way possible. Now, my brothers, again, I apologize for the haphazard schedule that I have with my podcast. I had originally said that I would try to do one per month or so, and I have not been able to keep up with that schedule due to basically my need to sit back and analyze the things that are going on before I attempt to create content. And as well, I have been working on my overall content creation skills, both audio and video, and that has consumed some of my time. One of the things I'm trying to do is to be able to create any type of content, anywhere, spur of the moment, that type of thing. And that involves some testing and trying to produce content in locations where it is remote, that type of thing. And sometimes it doesn't work out the way I would like it to be. But practice over time will cause the skills to be uplifted to the degree that I can again do what I need to do in any form or fashion. Now, getting into the topic of this Infinium podcast, ignoring the reachback. My brothers, again, when I encounter things that on face value, it seems that it is simple to understand, but yet when I delve deeper into what is going on, I find that it is a multi-layered, multifaceted type of thing. And because, again, of the conditions that we're in, first of all, the great shifting that we all see around us because of course, the presidential election, of course, the things that we see now going on with woke going down, DEI going out of the picture, vast changes all around us. There is a sense that things are getting better and things are now safe for we men. And we find ourselves in a condition where, again, what happened to us when we close our eyes at night and we begin to think about things and we think about our lives, we begin to question whether or not the MGTOW philosophy is applicable for this time. And should I now, as a MGTOW man, turn back on the philosophy, basically reject it, basically give it up and go back to what is now seemingly becoming safe? And my brothers, on one side of things that we know in our minds, that is not the proper thing to do. But yet there is this kind of growing sense that things are safe now. And I could easily end this podcast and say that no, things are not safe. But I want you to look at things in an analytical type of way. And I want to walk you through those things and to solidify in your mind why it is not safe at this time to turn away from the philosophy, the MGTOW philosophy, which saves you, we as men's lives in every way possible. Now, prior to the elections of 2024, and now we are into 2025, for years, we men have been persecuted. And we all know what happened to us personally, and as well, we all know what happened to us corporately as men. But my brothers, I would remind you of these things that have happened to us. Now, we exist in a state where, on face value, just on a simple level, we men cannot smile and say hello to a woman without the threat of being falsely accused of SA and thrown into jail. And that condition didn't just come about over the last year. It came about over the last decade or so, even more than that, my brothers. That happened. And that is the tip of the iceberg of what happened to us, what we endured over these years, what brought us to this point now that we face and that we are in terms of the shifting, in terms of the great changes that are happening before us. That is just one aspect of a tip of the iceberg of what happened to us, what was done to us. And you must consider, my brothers, again, how that condition was allowed to come about. It came about, my brothers, because of, again, feminism, the feminist plantation state, the rules, the dictates, the mandates, all the things that happened to us during this time period up until 2025, up until the time of this recording, which is, again, 2025. But my brothers, if you look beneath the waves where that iceberg is, the tip of that iceberg is, you will find that it is a vast body of what constitutes the overall persecution of we men. You will find that that persecution was strategic in nature, it was detailed in nature, and it affected all men in westernized societies. It affected we MGTOW men in particular, and it caused further persecution upon we MGTOW men because of our embracement of the philosophy. So, in essence, many men have been imprisoned on false allegations. Many men have had their lives destroyed by false allegations and the ease of those false allegations. Many men have been pushed off of their jobs, have lost their careers, have lost their finances because of, again, false allegations, because of the dictates of feminism, the feminist plantation state. Many men have been divorce raped unfairly because of, again, the feminist plantation state, the dictates of the feminist plantation state. Men have lost, in general, the right to be free, the right to live their lives in freedom. And so when it comes to we MGTOW men, the right to be free, the right to live free is, of course, deemed as terrorism by the feminist plantation state. And my brothers, the aforementioned did not happen over the course of maybe a year or so. This was, of course, a multi-decade long push to persecute we men, to put we men under the foot, so to speak. And so all along when this was going on, my brothers, women were saying things like this to us.
I don't need a man because I'm strong, I'm powerful, I am empowered, I am independent, I am beautiful, I am wonderful. And as a woman, the future is female. So therefore, women need men like fish need bicycles.
But nevertheless, my brothers, when women were saying the things to us like women need men, like fish need bicycles, and that was just one of the despicable things that was said to us to demean our nature, to make us feel that we were worthless, that we were not the ones that created society. There was the women who did these things, the women who created things like the internet, who built the buildings, who drilled for oil, who created the infrastructure by which the feminist plantation state operates. We were made to feel that we were worthless. But nevertheless, my brothers, there was the component of men, and particularly MGTOW men, who all during this time period began to realize the worth of their freedom, the profound nature of their freedom, and on that foundation began to discover who they are as men. And for many of these men, it was a rebuilding process because they had been thrown into jail. It was a rebuilding process because they had been divorce raped. They had lost their jobs. They had lost finances, homes, everything. In certain cases, it was just a rebuilding process of who they are. And on a basic level, it was learning how to be independent of a woman, like learning how to cook for themselves, learning how to clean their clothes, all the way to building their businesses, all the way to discovering talents and abilities that they never thought possible. This was going on as well, my brothers, with a lot of, in particular, MGTOW men. I know it has been going on with me. And again, the aforementioned happened because of the realization that I, as a man, am worth something. I have the right to my dignity. I have the right to live free. And of course, this notion of freedom is antecedent to what the feminist plantation state would dictate upon us, that we have no right to be free. But yet this has occurred. So you have the condition where women were outright demeaning us, telling us that we were worthless. But again, you have the condition caused by the embracement of the MGTOW philosophy that resulted in where we are today. We are free men, and we are men who critically think. We see issues in our society and we stay away from them. We do all these things. And of course, in addition to the component of men that were rebuilding, so to speak, during this time period, there was also the component of men who became MGTOWs and began not a rebuilding process, but a building process upon the foundation of their freedom, of their recognition of the fact that they are free men and they have the right to live free. And so you have this component of MGTOW men who are either rebuilding or building upon the foundation of their freedom. And what these men are doing in actuality, what you, I, we as MGTOW men are doing in actuality is building the infrastructure that supports our freedom, that allows us to operate in a way that we can live our lives as free men. We can go about our lives as free men. This infrastructure, of course, has no dependency upon women. We can operate, again, without women being in our lives. And so now you have a condition where you have two infrastructures. The infrastructure that we MGTOW men are building versus the infrastructure of the feminist plantation state, which is founded upon the ideology of feminism. Now, we men know that the work to build the infrastructure of our independence, of our freedom, it is not easy. It takes a lot of work. It takes, for instance, dealing with things that we never dealt with before, or dealing with issues and obstacles and learning how to overcome those obstacles. It takes dealing with the day-to-day persecution that could even come from our families. It takes all of those things. And we know that other than the support of other men in the MGTOW community, we can expect no support coming from the feminist plantation state. For instance, we can expect that the perks that women get, we will not participate in those things. And we can expect more so that the things that we experienced formerly as men, like being able to have male-only gyms, those things have gone away. They're long gone, so to speak. So we do not have what women have, but we have, again, the sure foundation of our freedom, which we can build upon, which we can build that infrastructure, which can fully support us going forward if we take the time out to do the right things, if we take the time out to do it in a manner which consists of integrity, which consists of merit, which consists of putting in the hours, so to speak, all those types of things. We know in our minds that that's what it takes to do what we need to do as men. And in actuality, that is what is building our infrastructure, which is again being constructed upon the sure foundation of our freedom as men. Now, if you contrast that with the feminist plantation state, one of the things you will find, my brothers, is that the foundation of the feminist plantation state does not consist of things like merit, hard work, etc. And you'll find that the things that are there, which would constitute a strong foundation, like integrity, they are lacking, my brothers. There is no integrity. There is no sense that, for instance, if you go to a job and it is a IT job, for example, where you need to know how to understand networking protocols, you need to know how to understand how to manage a network switch, so to speak, what it takes, how to get a computer running properly. You will find that the skills of many of the IT workers that are out there right now who are women, they are lacking. Some of them don't even know how to turn on a computer, so to speak. That's how bad it is. So you have a condition where we MGTOW men have been building our infrastructure upon the sure foundation of our freedom versus the infrastructure that women have been building upon the unsure foundation of feminism that is lacking in every way possible. And you have the condition which had occurred over the course of the years where you saw the videos of these women laughing and mocking men in every possible way because they have these high-paying jobs, which they just went and had a latte and spent the rest of the day just relaxing when they should have been working hard, which they should have been doing the proper things, so to speak, the things that we men know in the back of our minds need to be done in terms of doing things, in terms of building things, in terms of properly building what you need to build. You had this condition, which for years, it was primarily during the Biden years, but it was before that. It became bad, really bad during the Biden years because of all the things that were going on, all the DEI and the wokeness and everything. And you saw all these things happen, and it was thrown in our face that the future was female, that women could do anything and everything without we men. And again, you had the condition where we MGTOW men in particular were called lame, were called idiots, because we would not submit to the notion that what was going on was right, and we would not participate in what was going on. And so that got us into a condition where we were labeled as terrorists, that anybody that promoted the idea that a man could exist without a woman was criminal. But yet again, you had this infrastructure of feminism, which is basically propped up by BS and nothing more than BS. So again, you have these two divergent infrastructures. Our infrastructure, if you would say that, the MGTOW philosophy, what we embrace, the infrastructure created by that and created by our embracement of that philosophy, causing us to, quote unquote, build properly or rebuild properly in the manner that things should be done, to create true independence, to create true worth, to create value, that type of thing. So that happened. Now, during the time that the MGTOW philosophy became mainstream, so to speak, there was a condition where the marriage rates, the birth rates, all the things that are directly as a result of feminism, directly as a result of men staying away from women, those things began to affect the feminist plantation state. So overall, it was the number of slaves walking away from the feminist plantation state, the number of births to the feminist plantation state to support things like child custody laws, which were unfair to men in general. All those things began to go down. And particularly in the last few years, if you look back, you will see a rapid decline of all of these things, all of these infrastructure points of the feminist plantation state. And it is directly attributable to men, quote unquote, red pilling and then becoming MGTOW, deciding that they would not have anything to do with women in general and walking away. And of course, there is some component of the passport bureaus, so to speak, and everything. But in general, it is overall more so the component of men red pilling and then going MGTOW. Now, this was going on into the run-up into 2024. And in fact, we MGTOW men have been saying all along that what would happen to the feminist plantation state would be a shakeup or a stripping of the powers of women, the capability of women to, first of all, get men, and the capability of women to attain men as slaves, and also that there would be the downfall of many, many women who were in power. And in fact, I had made a video going on about 2 years ago that stated this very thing, that there would be a stripping process which would occur and cause the downfall of many, many women. And now into 2025, that is occurring. So what this means, my brothers, is this. You have now the infrastructure that we men, we MGTOW men in particular, have been building and have been doing religiously, so to speak, to build our freedom, to build upon the foundation of our freedom. We have the infrastructure now. We have the true building up of our resources, our financial capabilities. We have all those types of things going on because of, again, our determination to be free. Because we understood as MGTOW men that it was not just saying that I am a free man and calling it a day. It was more so a case of applying the basic foundation of our freedom to every aspect of our lives, and then going forward and building the resources, building the finances, doing whatever we need to do to live our lives as free men. And so that can be construed as learning how to cook by ourselves, something as simple as that, to building a business. That's what we MGTOW men went ahead and did. Now, because of those things, we are further seen as resources. We know that. We are further seen as wallets for women. And again, that has caused the type of persecution to become more intense, that we will not give these resources to women. We will not give women access to our wallets anymore. But let's set that aside for a moment and look at what has gone on with feminism, with the feminist plantation state. Now, again, the drain that we, in particular, MGTOW men, have caused on the feminist plantation state, that was there. The drain and the removal of slaves, so to speak, that was there. But again, what was also there was things like high student loan debt for women, high credit card debt for women, car payments, house payments, all these things that was going on. So there was the cracks in the foundations that were there. You had women out there with all of these debts, all of these types of issues going on. And then you had the other issues going on where they, because of feminism, could not find men. So that was going on prior to 2025. But the real sense of how unstable the foundation of feminism is, the foundation of the feminist plantation state is, came about when Trump got into office and began to get rid of DEI, began to get rid of wokeness, all those things, because it was then that the realization of how much wokeness, DEI, all these types of things were nothing more than a prop which supported women in every possible way. So again, when we men, in particular, we MGTOW men, were rebuilding or building a infrastructure which was sure, which was solid, because it was constructed upon the sure and solid foundation of our freedom. Women all along had the propping up of DEI, wokeness, all the money that was involved with that, all those things. We men did not have access to that money. Women did. And so now it is coming out that because DEI is gone, because wokeness is going away, that money is also going away. So what has resulted, again, is the exposure of how much women were propped up by these things, that they did not earn these positions. They did not earn what they said that they earned. They did not earn it in the manner that we men have earned things, that we MGTOW men are now earning what we are doing. They did not put in the work. They did not do these things, my brothers. And so now it is coming out that a lot of these women got their jobs because of DEI, got business loans because of DEI, student loans, all these types of things. A lot of these women, because of what had happened, were rich, driving around in luxury cars, doing all types of things in their high towers, so to speak, lambasting us, kicking us to the curb. And now, my brothers, all of that is crumbling down. And these women are falling down with it. And so what that is doing is exposing the magnitude of what has happened, how big this cash grab, so to speak, for women was. Because now you're seeing when the money has dried up, these women are now crying for help. And as a result of the aforementioned condition where these women are crying for help, you are now hearing something like this coming from the mouths of women.
Hey, Big Head. How you doing? I know you were upset because of some of the things I did to you. And I know that I was a little hard on you. And you walked away. You didn't say why you were walking away, but you walked away. But I just want to apologize to you for what happened. And just want to ask you to come back. Because there's no need for you to walk away. There's no need for you to forget about me. I'm safe now. And I'm going to correct my ways. But you have to understand that you are part of this. I'm the table that you had to prepare. And you just cannot walk away from that, no matter what. So I'm just saying to you, I'm sorry, but you have to come back. You know, I may have done something to you. I don't know. But if I did something to you, I'm sorry. And you have to come back.
And my brothers, that is the crux of the matter, because women are now reaching back to men, and in particular, we MGTOW men, because they see that men overall have the resources, and they see in particular that we MGTOW men have been building, have been working on ourselves, have been doing what we need to do. And of course, because of the quote-unquote fallacy of obligation to women, these women who are now in trouble are reaching back to men overall, and in particular, we MGTOW men. And although, my brothers, a lot of the reaching back that women are doing now is on face value, it looks like it's because they are lonely, because men will not have anything to do with them. They need, quote unquote, a partner. My brothers, again, consider the layers of what is going on. You have, of course, the high student loan debts, the evictions, because women no longer have the easy money to pay for the condos, the homes, those types of things. You have the perks going away, like Section 8, SNAP benefits being snapped back. You have the repossessions of cars, luxury cars. You have the high unemployment now. You have the job loss, all those cushy jobs where women were basically sitting around having lattes and laughing at we men who were out there working on legitimate jobs, calling us dusty, calling us lame because we worked a lot of hours, calling us dull. Those very same women now have no jobs. You see homelessness of women. Everywhere I go in my neck of the woods, I'm seeing more and more homeless women. You see all these things. But then you begin to look underneath the layer which constitutes the financial condition, the monetary condition of women, and you see another layer, which is stress. For instance, the other day I saw a report on Good Morning America, which showed that young women had a 78% chance of a stroke happening to them because they were going through, quote unquote, undue stress. And there is, of course, the constant flow of women on TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, Instagram, complaining that they can't find men, that they're lonely. In certain cases, you see them sobbing and crying because they can't find men. And then you see the dating meetups where hardly any men show up. You see things like mainstream media suggesting that women go to grocery stores because they can find single men there. So there is the component of stress, loneliness. And if you look again at another layer, there is a high degree of narcissism because of what happened with things like DEI, with things like women having almost uncontrollable power over men. All those things are happening. You see these things, my brothers. And if you look further at another layer, there is the constant flow of women, again, on social media, complaining that they cannot handle being alone in a home, that they don't know how to fix a toilet, that they need a man to fix a toilet, that they are tired of being strong and empowered and beautiful and that they can do anything. They now need a man to do these things, to do the things that they said formerly that they didn't need us. You have this layer that you can look at, my brothers, where these women are now begging for men to help them to do things that they either cannot do or don't want to do because it is too stressful for them. Still another layer is the issue of high body counts among women that present the issues of inability to successfully bond with men, necessitating their need for constant monkey branching, and as well the dangers of spreading uncontrollable STDs because of their actions. Yet another layer is the uselessness of what women touted as one of the many reasons why they are superior to we men. For instance, I watched a video the other day where a woman had attended Harvard University in order to pursue a master's degree in DEI. But because DEI is being eliminated, her degree is now useless, and now she is in debt because of the student loan she took out to pursue such a degree. If you look further at another layer, there is a type of hypocritical backbiting going on among women. For instance, you have a congresswoman like Jasmine Crockett, who is a Democrat, lefty, who is widely known because of her behavior, because of her pushing of DEI, all these types of things. In the run-up to the elections, no women really came out against what she was doing, against her behavior. But now, after Trump has been in office, DEI is going away, wokeness is going away. Many women are now condemning Jasmine Crockett and saying that she does not speak for them. She does not represent them. And my brothers here, you should understand that many of these women who are now criticizing Jasmine Crockett, and it is primarily black women, were the very same women that put her into office as a congresswoman. And now, because of all these things, because of the shifting, you're seeing now a layer of hypocritical backbiting going on among women. Another layer that you can look at, my brothers, is the hypocritical apologetics of women that are basically now saying that they have been on our side and that they had always been on our side. But there again, my brothers, look at what has happened. In the years where all of these things were going on, these women, the majority of them, who are being apologetic to we men, who are calling upon we MGTOW men in particular to come back, did not stand for us, did not stand by us. And so therefore, my brothers, they were tacitly in agreement with what was happening to us, the persecution that we faced as men. And so there again, my brothers, you have these multiple layers of things that are going on with women. And those layers represent the infrastructure which women have built upon the unsure foundation of feminism. And now, my brothers, because of what is going on, they are reaching back to you, we in particular as MGTOW men. They are telling us that it is safe now to come back. It is safe to get off of the pathway which saves our lives in every way possible. That's what they're doing, my brothers. And my brothers, again, it is not safe. It is not safe at all. Again, you can look at everything that has happened, all the layers that I have cited, and there are more layers that are going on. Those are just some of the layers that are happening to the feminist plantation state, to feminism, to women that both covertly and overtly embrace the ideology of feminism, and now they are finding that feminism has failed them. They are reaching back to men, and in particular, we MGTOW men. And my brothers, the point that I'm trying to get across to you is that this reach back will destroy your freedom if you allow it. Because the majority of these women have not changed. They are still the same. And it is therefore a waste of your time to either look back or consider that woman that is saying to you that it is your obligation to help her, to pay off that student loan debt, to help her because she's been evicted, to put up with her BS because you are supposed to be noble as a man, to do all these things, to marry her because she's a single mother, to do these things. My brothers, again, this reach back that you're seeing presents no reason whatsoever for you to consider giving up your freedom as a MGTOW man. And in fact, it is more dangerous than ever before because within those layers that I cited, my brothers, is a sense of jealousy, anger. Don't think for one moment that these women do not see you in your home, enjoying your home. Do not see you eating out by yourself and enjoying your peace. Do not see you when you're shopping in the grocery store by yourself, not having to worry about somebody that will not appreciate your efforts because you provide for them. Don't think for one moment, my brothers, they don't see you. These women do not see you because they do see you. And that is a component of the reach back. Again, the desperation, the multiple layers of issues that they are finding themselves in. My brothers, again, don't think for one moment that your freedom is worthy of this reach back because it is not. And my brothers, look at it this way. This is a golden opportunity for we as MGTOW men to go on and do what we need to do. What about your well-being? What about your wanting to travel, having the freedom to travel, having the ability to have peace in your life? That's what you should reach forward for, instead of allowing the reach back of women to interfere with your walk along the MGTOW pathway, my brothers. Again, look at the layers of things. Use your minds to critically think and analyze what is going on, and you will see, my brothers, that it is not safe. It is not safe to do any of the things that women are reaching back to we men, we MGTOW men, to do these things. To do things like being married. To do things like cohabitating with women. To do things like marrying single mothers. To do things like paying off debts that are not yours. To do things like being thrown under the bus for a woman who fraudulently took out something like a PPP loan, and you now face the difficulties of law enforcement coming after you because of that PPP loan. To do anything and everything that women are now reaching back to we men, and in particular we MGTOW men, to force us off of the pathway that saves our lives in every way possible. My brothers, again, it is not worth it. And I would urge you to not do those things, to not consider the reach back. And then, my brothers, in closing, consider what you have done. Again, throughout this podcast, I have shown you that you, we as MGTOW men have been building a sure, strong infrastructure upon the sure, strong foundation of our freedom. And for you to consider the reach back of women and then undertake that burden, which is not yours, and you do not deserve that burden, my brothers, that will shatter that sure foundation and cause the infrastructure that you have been working on to crumble down and be destroyed. And with that being said, my brothers, again, take care of you. Take care of who you are. You are a free man, and you deserve your freedom. You deserve your dignity. You deserve, most of all, to live in freedom in this life. Again, consider these things and embrace who you are as a free man. This is the MGTOW Infinium, and this has been an Infinium Podcast. My MGTOW brothers, always remember that you have the right to be free in every way possible because you are free men.